Coming up on 5 Minute News. Biden says US was clumsy in Australian submarine deal. FDA paves the way for Pfizer vaccinations in young children. And Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II advised to rest for 2 weeks. It's Saturday, October 30. I'm Anthony Davis. Working to patch things up with an old ally, President Joe Biden told French President Emmanuel Macron on Friday the US had been clumsy in its handling of a secret US-British submarine deal with Australia, an arrangement that left France in the lurch and rattled Europe's faith in American loyalty. Biden and Macron greeted each other with handshakes and shoulder grabs before their first face-to-face meeting since the deal was publicly announced in September, marking the latest American effort to try to smooth hurt French sensibilities. Biden didn't formally apologize to Macron, but conceded the US should not have caught its oldest ally by surprise. The deal was not done with a lot of grace. I was under the impression that France had been informed long before, Biden said. The US-led submarine contract supplanted a prior French deal to supply Australia with its own diesel-powered submarines. The US argued that the move, which will arm the Pacific ally with higher-quality nuclear-powered boats, will better enable Australia to contain Chinese encroachment in the region. Macron told reporters after the meeting, "We are building the trust again. Trust is like love. Declaration is good, but proof is better." The French leader said he believed Biden was sincere when he said he thought France had been informed about the submarine deal by Britain and Australia. Biden and Macron also discussed new ways to cooperate in the Indo-Pacific, also an effort to soothe French tempers over being left out of the US-UK-Australia partnership that accompanied the submarine deal. Other topics on the agenda included China, Afghanistan and Iran, as well as climate change, before next week's UN Climate Summit in Glasgow, Scotland. The US Food and Drug Administration on Friday paved the way for children ages 5 to 11 to get Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The FDA cleared child-sized doses, just a third of the amount given to teens and adults, for emergency use, and up to 28 million more American children could be eligible for vaccinations as early as next week. One more regulatory hurdle remains. On Tuesday, advisors from the CDC will make more detailed recommendations on which youngsters should get vaccinated, with a final decision by the agency's director expected shortly afterwards. Vaccinating younger children against COVID-19 will bring us closer to returning to a sense of normalcy, Dr. Janet Woodcock, the acting FDA commissioner, said in a statement. Our comprehensive and rigorous evaluation of the data pertaining to the vaccine's safety and effectiveness should help assure parents and guardians that this vaccine meets our high standards. While children are at a lower risk of severe illness or death from COVID-19 than older people, 5 to 11-year-olds still have been seriously affected, including over 8,300 hospitalizations, about a third requiring intensive care, and nearly 100 deaths since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, according to the FDA. And with the extra contagious Delta variant circulating, the government has counted more than 2,000 coronavirus-related school closings since the start of the school year, affecting more than 1 million children. Queen Elizabeth II has been advised to rest for at least the next 2 weeks, accepting doctors' recommendations to take on only light duties and not to travel, Buckingham Palace said on Friday. The decision comes days after the 95-year-old sovereign underwent medical tests and spent the night at London's King Edward VII Hospital, her first such stay in 8 years. Her Majesty has continued to work since then and will press on with desk-based duties, but will skip the November 13 Festival of Remembrance at the Royal Albert Hall in London, an event meant to honour the British and Commonwealth men and women who have fought wars, disasters and pandemics to protect and defend the nation. However, it remains the Queen's firm intention to be present for the National Service of Remembrance on Remembrance Sunday on the 14th of November, the palace said. It is significant that the palace statement highlighted the wish of the monarch to attend Remembrance Sunday ceremonies, as it's a major event on the sovereign's calendar, and one to which she has attached great importance. The Queen has long enjoyed robust health and is said to hate having people make a fuss, but she has reluctantly accepted advice to cut back on her blistering schedule in recent weeks. She cancelled a trip to mark 100 years since the creation of Northern Ireland on October 20th. That was followed only days later by the announcement that she would not appear at the UN Climate Conference in Glasgow. A great disappointment to Britain's Conservative government, which was hoping to stress the importance of the 2-week meeting and save the Earth from uncontrollable global warming. The Queen has stayed at Windsor Castle, west of London, holding virtual audiences with ambassadors and poets and otherwise displaying good spirits. Britain's longest-lived and longest-reigning monarch is due to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee, 70 years on the throne next year. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.